IPW fans, and welcome to another edition of the IPW Insider, IPW's ongoing video series that brings you up to date on all IPW news and events. I'm your host and IPW commentator, Mark Franchise.
And from the crucial Squared Circle podcast, one half of IPW's award-winning commentary team and chairwoman of the IPW Mental Wellness Task Force, I'm Davison Sarai.
Despite the heat, wrestling fans came out to full blast in Battle Creek on August 8th, 2021 for IPW Aftermath. Davison, there were issues carrying over from the historic event, War on the Shore, where we saw a new number one contender for the IPW Championship named. A new IPW champion was crowned, and in what might be the most underhanded move of his career, Derek Wolf apparently purchased the IPW Michiana title from Aaron O'Ryan, crowning himself the new Michiana champion.
Aftermath opened with none other than the ultra-successful Derek Wolf. Came to the ring to show off his new possession and to let the crowd know that he was their new champion. While the crowd let him know their displeasure, IPW management sent information to Mark Franchise regarding the situation. He was tasked with telling Derek Wolf that management in fact did not recognize him as champion, saying that he had essentially purchased some very expensive jewelry. As Aaron O'Ryan had relinquished the title over to Wolf, management stated that the Michiana title was officially vacant, sending Wolf into a frenzy.
As Wolf was seething, once again reminding the crowd of the brutal beating he gave to Jamal King back at Fate of 8, he was suddenly joined at ringside by his opponent in what was now a match to determine the new Michiana champion, none other than Jamal King himself, who was motivated to not only win the title, but to exact his revenge on his hated rival.
Due to the intensity and hatred between these two gladiators, their fight spilled out of the ring and across the arena before finally ending up outside the venue. Neither man seemed to notice that their match had been called off due to a double disqualification, as their focus was fixed entirely on destroying their foe. It appeared that King was getting the better of his opponent, as we saw Derek Wolf literally running into traffic and up the street to avoid King's wrath.
After the brawl, Jamal King went back inside the arena with the fans, where he hoisted the Michiana Championship over his head, declaring that he would soon be champion. The double DQ does mean that there is no current Michiana champion, as the title is still vacant. Davison, it would appear that the personal issue is far from over, but could this have been foreshadowing? And could Jamal King potentially be the next IPW Michiana champion?
Only time will tell. Next up was a violent and bloody clash between hometown hero and IPW's own 1-2-3 kid, Felix Morio, and hardcore and deathmatch veteran and legend, none other than the dirty white boy Chuck Stein. We've recently seen Felix Morio in a hardcore brawl with Derek Wolf, and we've seen him go toe-to-toe with members of the Death Threat Army, so his toughness has never been in question. However, if the fans had any questions about the direction this match might go, they soon found out.
In short order, the fans witnessed their hero, Felix Morio, take not one but two brutal shots from a barbed wire-covered baseball bat, resulting in his blood streaming down his skin and staining the canvas. These two exchanged offense throughout the bout, with Felix eventually looking to build a tower of chairs, presumably for Chuck Stein's final resting place. Instead, the hardcore legend was able to reverse, brutalizing Morio with a Death Valley driver through the chairs to secure the 1-2-3. After the bout, there was a show of mutual respect between these warriors, but this did signal Felix Morio's third consecutive loss, Davison. Has the momentum and luck of our own 1-2-3 kid run out?
If I've learned anything in 2021, it's to never count Felix Morio down and out. Next up, fans were treated to a tag team contest between two of the biggest teams going today, as we saw the returning duo of Eli Shelton and Jason Page, Big Facts, taking on the recently dysfunctional pairing of the Black Diamond Jack Price and the current number one contender to both the IPW and Michiana championships, Adam effing Wick, representing the Death Threat Army. Franchise, Wick and Price had a major miscommunication, leading to Wick pinning Jack Price in a three-way bout with Ren Jones at War on the Shore to become number one contender for the IPW title. One had to wonder if they were on the same page coming into this bout.
Video has emerged of Jack Price confronting Adam Wick just prior to the bout. It appeared in the video that Price was seeking answers and trying to ensure that their heads were right going into the tag bout, but Wick responded in his usual charming fashion, effectively telling Jack Price to suck it up and get over it. As the bout opened, both teams seemed relatively evenly matched, with a glimpse of brilliance from both. As the match wore on, however, the potential gaps between Wick and Price became visible.
In a near bit of deja vu from War on the Shore, it appeared that Wick was about to super kick his own partner, Jack Price. The Black Diamond was able to catch the kick this time, and shortly thereafter he returned fire on his own teammate just before allowing Big Facts to pin Adam Wick. As as they secured their first IPW victory as a tag team. Following the match, Jack Price grabbed a microphone and asked his teammate for an explanation for the recent miscommunications, where it appeared that Wick may have been trying to intentionally attack him. While Adam Wick had nothing to say in response, Price reminded him and the entire crowd that no matter what happens, they are still in fact blood and will forever be Death Threat Army. Franchise, where does this leave their working relationship?
That remains to be seen, but the DTA has shown time and time again that dissension in the ranks does little to change their ultimate mission. Next up, Terry Van Avery entered the arena and addressed the IPW fans as they celebrated his newly won freedom. Van Avery had been a literal hostage of the Gold Team, as he'd been working under the unwanted tutelage of Jeremiah Goldmain ever since the IPW Back on Track months ago. Terry had a match with Goldmain back at War on the Shore that finally secured his freedom from the 24-karat lion and the Gold Team, but he let the audience know that his business with the Gold Team was far from over.
The very tan Terry Van Avery let his fans know that while his freedom was secured, he had in no way forgotten about the grudges he held against Gold Team members Kyler Coleman and the Scourge of the Swamp, the perpetually slimy Brutus Atwell. Just then, Jeremiah Goldmain and his team entered the arena where a challenge was made. Jeremiah Goldmain suggested a gauntlet match, where Van Avery would have to battle not one but both members of the Gold Team, in one bout after the other. In what could have proven to be a mistake, Terry Van Avery leapt to the challenge and accepted.
The action started with Van Avery facing the newest Gold Team member, Kyler Coleman, who jumped in the early advantage with a sneak attack. While Coleman looked impressive, he was eventually reversed, allowing Terry Van Avery to land his finisher for a quick pinfall. Before he could even begin to celebrate, Van Avery was assaulted by his second opponent, the aromatic and shoeless Brutus Boggin Atwell. Davison, at this point, it appeared that Van Avery was going to be humiliated once again by the Gold Team.
Using his typical game plan of misdirection and confusion, Jeremiah Goldmain used the numbers advantages to get involved in the action. His interference led to Atwell holding Van Avery's arms behind his back, leaving him wide open to attack from Goldmain, at which point the 24-karat lion produced a small spray canister that appeared to be pepper spray. Fans will recall that Goldmain maced Van Avery prior to their bout at War on the Shore, and this looked like more of the same. That is, until the very tan one broke away, avoiding the spray and leading to Atwell being maced instead, which allowed Van Avery to secure the quick 1-2-3 on his way to his second victory of the night.
Jeremiah Goldmain was absolutely irate after the fact, screaming at and even slapping his Gold Team members after their second consecutive loss. Neither man looked particularly happy with their treatment, but they did follow Goldmain's orders by returning to the locker room as a unit. Davison, this could be a sign of things to come. This is 2 events in a row with the Gold Team and Jeremiah Goldmain being humiliated. Can they recover?
In our next bout, we saw a newcomer to IPW, Danny Astro, taking on IPW regular and aerial expert Solo. We've seen Solo shine in each of his matches leading up to this contest, and it seemed like only a matter of time before he would start picking up wins. Despite having a size, weight, and strength advantage in the match, Danny Astro was unable to keep up with the speed and aerial ability of Solo, who picked up the big win. Franchise, I've made it no secret that I'm a fan of Solo, and he's been so impressive in each of his IPW outings. Could this be a sign of bigger things on the horizon for Solo? And could IPW management be considering him for a championship opportunity down the line?
Finally, in the main event of the evening, we were treated to an IPW title match for the ages. Aaron O'Ryan, longtime former Michiana champion and recently crowned IPW champion, was seen selling the Michiana title to Derek Wolf immediately following War on the Shore. That meant that the leader of the Death Threat Army would be defending the IPW championship, and everyone in attendance was shocked to see that his opponent was none other than the Colonel of Clappin' Cheeks and your client, Davison, LaDon Sanders.
I was as surprised as anyone to see LaDon Sanders walking towards the ring to face one of the most dominant, brutal athletes to ever step foot in an IPW ring. You do not lead a faction like the Death Threat Army without being a dangerous, calculating, and vicious individual, and Aaron O'Ryan certainly encapsulates all of those adjectives. It appeared that O'Ryan was annoyed by the crowd as they chanted, "You sold out," referring to his sale of the Michiana title to Derek Wolf. Franchise, at the risk of upsetting the DTA, they did have a point.
As Sanders approached the ring with his trusty buckets of chicken for the fans, all viewers had to wonder if he had any shot whatsoever at defeating the seemingly unstoppable Aaron O'Ryan. LaDon has been on a win streak, but he quickly found out that Aaron O'Ryan meant all business on this night. While the Colonel had flashes of brilliance, the story of this match was the dominance and brutality of O'Ryan.
There were several points in the match where it seemed like a miracle in the making, but despite the love of the fans and his 12 mysterious herbs and spices, Don Sanders was eventually overpowered and outmatched by the 900-plus day champion. Franchise, whether you agree with the DTA or Orion's decisions with the Michiana title, one thing is for certain. Aaron O'Ryan runs IPW as of today. and it's hard to imagine what it's going to take to knock him off the top of the mountain. Lest we forget, the number one contender to his IPW championship is longtime friend and DTA stablemate Adam Effing Wick, who has proven to be a wild card many times over. What's next for the DTA? And will Wick be the next to challenge for the IPW championship?
We'll have to wait and see. And that wraps up yet another edition of the IPW Insider. We will be live this Saturday, August 21st at Vandermill Cider at 505 Ball Avenue Northeast in Grand Rapids, Michigan. Tickets are available at the door the night of the show and online at Eventbrite. General admission is $20, front row $25, kids 10 and under $10. Doors are at 5, bell is at 6. Join us this Saturday in Grand Rapids, Michigan for IPW Grand Slam.